It's the social services cover-up. Thousands and thousands of children have been taken into care on nothing more than a whim by social services. Social services are stealing children in their thousands because it's a very profitable organisation at the moment. The money being made is millions per child. These people are sat taking awards today. The police officers, statutory blind, don't want to do anything about it. We're here to protest, and we'll be here to protest today, we'll be here tomorrow, the week after that we'll be in Halifax, Nottingham, Leeds. We will be there. Screw the debts, screw the common law, screw the freemen. These children need protecting here. Get on board, people, get on board.
Whilst you're here protecting that, you're protecting paedophiles.
The police, I don't want it. Get on the stairs. Get on the stairs. I don't want it.
Do your job. Do your job.
Trying to make the point that there are 7 other meetings or events here.
Oh, more important than child abuse.
I am just trying to keep the stairs clear.
Bill, you know how a boycott works. If they're not making money, they'll stop letting paedophiles in. Well, they don't even swear an oath anyway.
No.
They're just members of the public, just like us.
I'm sure they get the wages to protect the public, not a building.
My child from birth. I couldn't even come home with my child, be given a chance to be a parent to my child. I done nothing wrong to my child, and they removed my child. They're trying to adopt my child.
What's wrong what they do, child snatchers?
They're trying to adopt my child very soon. I put in applications to the European Courts of Human Rights. I'm waiting on that. But the lower courts are all corrupt, they're all secret. They don't let public in, so you can see they're all very corrupt, and they lie. The social workers lie, twist things about you, label me as a learning difficulty when they've not even assessed me with my daughter's case, label me as something saying I've got a learning difficulty and I can't look after a child because I've got a mild learning difficulty. I need all this support, which is a load of lies.
We're here because in there, in the Midland Hotel in Manchester, on our doorstep, we've got the heads of social services from right around the country, people who are responsible for the trafficking of our children for profit. They're the sort of people that allowed what happened in Rotherham to happen, where 1,400 children were raped and groomed. They allowed it by their acquiescence, and we're here today to show them our disgust. And for every time they have a meeting, we're going to be here. We're going to take the fight to them from now on. It's not going to happen anymore.
When do you think they'll come out and allow us to speak to them and challenge them on what they've done? And if they do, what will be?
They're
not interested. They're not interested. All they're interested in is their £100,000 a year jobs and keeping their head down and playing the systems game. And the systems game is paedophilia. That's what the systems game is. Trafficking our children. That's what they're after. They've taken everything else in this country. They've taken our industry. They've taken our jobs. They've taken our freedom. And now the only thing left is our children. And we're not having it. It stops. It stops.
So we're drawing the line in the sand.
The line in the sand's been drawn. It's not happening anymore. These bleeders, these police here now protecting them. They want to hold the heads, hang the heads in shame because they're protecting paedophile traffickers. They're paedophiles who are trafficking our children, stealing our children, putting them into care and allowing the likes of Cyril Smith and Greville Janner and the rest of the Leon Britton and the rest of them to have sex with our children. It stops. It stops.
Do your job! 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 Do your job!
This is the conference of all the UK's social services. They're all in there together. Well, we found out about it and we've put a quick response together. Right. We're no longer going to tolerate their cover-ups in historic child abuse, and we're no longer going to tolerate forced adoption. Right. Enough is enough. If abusing our children from yesteryear wasn't enough, they're targeting the families of children who were abused, taking their kids via forced adoption, as well as the forced adoption for other unlawful reasons, in closed family courts where no one can have the right to be represented or respond. It's a total fit-up and it's a destruction of society as a whole. Right? They're taking them for corporate profit because they're corporate businesses. And at the end of the day, I'm not having it, and as you can see, we're not having it.
We don't have children with us because they will be targeted and took for forced adoptions. Statutory crime. Stop with the parking ticket. Stop with the survey board. I can see in your face, look, you're not interested, are you? You're not interested. We stand here and tell you. We tell you children are having the testicles cut off and we're not interested. So rich politicians can make students look interested. Not interested. Not interested. Stand here, it's really training. I'm not interested. And you want respect? If you command respect. Not interested, no. Oh, we're talking about children. Yes, whatever. Struggling. You're not interested. Yes. You're not interested. Have you thought about a job as a social worker? No. You're disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Statutory right. Wait for the cigarette wrap over here. You can do your job.
Yeah, well, this is a protest about the Social Services Directorate, and they're all getting together to have these discussions, and we really don't know what they're about. But we think that one of the subjects they should really be talking about is child sexual abuse, because it's one of the biggest subjects at the moment, and we all need to talk about it. So we've invited one of them to either come down or we'll come up to them to speak to us. And so far they've made all refusals on that office.
What we've got in there then today is sort of heads of all social services from around the country.
That's right, from all over the country. And we'd really like to address them with some serious points.
So this is the same sort of people that are allowing child trafficking, child snatching.
That's right, child prostitution throughout the country.
Acquiescence led to the horrific events in Rotherham.
And Savills, abuses in Nottingham, all over the country in fact. It's been documented in different parts of the country. Islington, there was a large scale up in the Lake District. They've been all over the Cumbria, everywhere, all over the country. There've been allegations of abuse that haven't been dealt with in the right way. and yet they've been reported to these people. These people are there to try and are supposed to be there to care for them, and yet they're being blocked when it goes higher up. Why is that? These people are those people higher up. We want to get them the message to them.
We've got to go to them, haven't we? We've got to send this fight to them.
Every single time, and every time we find out they're meeting somewhere, we will take the fight to them. We'll come to you. I've come from Nottingham today. We'll always come to you, wherever you are.
I'm Amanda Coupon, this is my brother Chris Gass. When Mickey came over to England, Chris Gass, he already knew my brother, and he introduced me to Mickey. Mickey came to live with me for 8 months, and he had no records whatsoever. The council said he was never in care, never existed. That's where I came into the picture. I helped him uncover a load of documents in the archives and placed him in places where the council said he wasn't, because they shut him down with what we call his files were shut down what we call like a D notice. They said that they were shut down, then they said they were destroyed. We've done everything to keep fighting to say where Mickey was. It said he wasn't ever in foster care. We found his foster carers, and then it went on from there. When we started campaigning and in the square in Nottingham, other people started coming forward, naming other people like Ken Clark, and we had 4 or 5 people come and name it. And obviously because of Ben Fellows, what was going on with them, but these people have never come back to us. Further protests we did, people was getting more public awareness, and then we actually shut down our council building and the county council building when they had meetings. And that's how we started working, by trying to shut meetings down. Because they wouldn't meet with us, we started taking over buildings and shutting them down. Then we got involved with a lot of people like Tom Crawford, who's just had his house tour, Mark Salong as well, who does a lot of videos for us. And what happened from there is we just became more aware with like common law, and we formed a chair called the CSA Action Group in Nottingham, which a guy called David Ollis, who's a colonel, who's took us now into getting an inquiry in Nottingham. The police keep backtracking a bit on that now, but we keep fighting, and we've now become part of the main inquiry, and we're going to be a hub from Nottingham in that main inquiry, due to fighting for what we want. And we've got Michael Mansfield's Chambers that will be taking us in to that. Mickey Summers, as you know, was a child abuse victim. He was abused by a head of social services in Nottingham. Also in Nottingham, we have a lot of links to Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was in with the Reverend Bennett, who lived in Home Pierpoint in Nottingham. He was of St Edmund's Church. Him and Savile used to do 10k runs around Saxondale, another paedophile palace where they used to take victims. Together they started what they called a Kingfisher project, where they took children to Wales, to the Gower Peninsula, and children were molested there. We have a lot of links to Savile through this Reverend Bennett, and now he's gone missing. He's never been brought. We don't know if he's still about, and we're trying to find out where he is. Also, we have other people now that have come forward to us, other survivors that didn't go to the police because they've been let down with the police. They've took their evidence to the police. Nothing was ever done.
Yeah, but strategic
and because of their strategic,
with Nottingham County Council, Nottingham Council and the police to keep this all covered up. They're working in strategic pots.
And you're finding a lot of cities now with these strategic partnerships. They're closing ranks. It's like we had our inquiry the other day. When we got there, we got the head of social services, and then we got our superintendent Helen Chamberlain and another lady all sat together. Now the police shouldn't be sat with anybody. The police should be sat with us, finding out what they've done wrong to cover this up.
Chris Hay, the chief superintendent, refuses to meet Mickey Summers. He's tried to get meetings with him. He collared him at the county council, and when Mickey told him that he'd come all the way from America to challenge him, Chris Hayes turned around to him and said, well done. The only thing he didn't do is clap him. You know, that's the kind of contempt the man has for a person that's suffered child abuse whilst in the state care system.
And we're going to keep fighting for justice, because what
that's
we're
on
trying,
video, you can get that on YouTube.
Yeah, which what we're trying to say to people is, in Nottingham, don't just do these rallies get yourselves together, get an action group together where you all meet up like we have, get someone to form a chair for you, and if they won't liaise with you, liaise through them. And then if you don't get no further with that, we still do our rallies, but they're still not making us quiet. That's why we're here today. We're still fighting.
We've got them on film actually lying, which are lying public office called malfeasance, and we've got them on video.
We've got proof of that.
It's endemic though, the whole system, right from top to bottom, is just
completely rotten to the core.
In Nottingham in the 80s, there was a case called the Broxtowe case. It was satanic abuse in Nottingham. There was a lot of high-profile people, including police officers, that were involved in that. A certain police officer has been named over 4 times now to us, and we've heard he is a Mason, a high-up Mason. Now this guy, we don't trust that. We can't go to the police for this because obviously if 4 people have mentioned this police officer, including one of our main whistleblowers, has named this person, and they've still done nothing about it. They've not even been to that person and took her evidence off her yet. Oh, she's got over 80 exhibits of evidence of failings as an inspector in child services. So if they're not going to take her seriously, how are they going to take a basic survivor seriously?
We have a crime commissioner in Nottingham, his name is Paddy Tippin. Now, he used to work for social services, and one of the people that raped Mickey was actually head of the social services. When Mickey actually met Paddy Tippin, he denied any knowledge of ever knowing the guy. Then we found records that put him in the same place at the same time, and he was confronted with that, Paddy Tippin, the crime commissioner in Nottingham, and all of a sudden his memory came back. He goes, oh, I remember him now.
He was my boss.
Yeah, he was my boss, but he denied it.
So the amnesia, he ain't got amnesia now.
Yeah. And that's the crime commissioner of Nottingham.
Who plays golf with Chris Eyre.
Yeah, who packed his job in as a politician for fiddling his expenses. Crime commissioner.